Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean. Welcome to Manflow Yoga. In this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 yoga postures and presenting them in a way that specifically helps with better sex for men. So this video specifically focuses on how to build stronger, longer lasting erections. It also helps with increasing awareness of the muscles involved in your reproductive organs, in your penis, which is going to help with more satisfaction in your sex life. It's going to help with better erections and all of those things that we want when we think about better sex. So before I get started, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And if you like any of this video, be sure to hit the like button. All right, so I'm going to be showing you 5 yoga postures in this video. You can do them on their own in the order in which they are presented as a standalone workout. You can also pick and choose the ones that challenge you the most if you don't have time for each 5 poses. Now, before I show you these postures, there's something that you need to understand if you want these to help with your erection strength. If all you do is look at me and then mirror the postures without learning the proper technique, without feeling the proper muscles working, then this is not going to help you. So the reason why these postures are effective is because they specifically work on the muscles involved in erections. So we're gonna work on your pelvic floor area, we're gonna be working on your glutes, we're gonna be working on your overall hips, and specifically working on your transverse abdominal muscles. So basically everything around the pubic area, your glutes, pelvic floor. And I'm gonna teach you these postures in a way that makes it simple to activate these target muscles. And again, if you don't feel these muscles working, then you're not going to get the benefits. Now, if you're watching this video because you already have some issues with this, you might have a little more difficulty than other people, because by definition, if you have problems with these muscles turning on, that might be a correlation between decreased erection strength. So if you find that you have difficulty with these at first, I have some other resources that I'll recommend that you can check out in the details in the description below. So the one thing you really want to focus on here, in addition to feeling that proper muscle activation in your pelvic floor and your core area as we go through these postures, is thinking about flexing your penis as you do these. When you do these exercises, I want you to think about, what does it feel like to flex my penis? When you have an erection, think about what that feels like, and that's going to help you make sure that these exercises are as effective as possible when it comes to improving your sex life. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna show you these 5 postures and exercises to help you with improving your erection strength. Again, make sure that you're doing this with proper technique. If all you're doing is looking at this video for the pose list and then go doing it on your own, if you don't have the proper technique, it's not going to help you. Now, if you're new, that's fine. I'm going to show you modifications so that you can build up to doing these exercises. And even if you're new, you're still going to be able to get these benefits in whatever modification you do. We're going to start on the ground and we're going to work up from there. So the first exercise is a forearm plank. And this is really effective at helping you build awareness in your transverse abdominal area. So forearms down, tuck your toes, lift your knees. Think about lifting your belly button up slightly. So we don't want to get up too high to the point that you don't feel your core working at all. But we also don't want to get too low where your hips are sagging. So we want to be kind of at a happy medium with your back not totally flat, belly button just lifted up a little bit. And you're going to feel this right behind your pubic bone and kind of up toward higher up toward your belly button, up toward the sternum. So kind of that's your transverse abdominis engaging. We want to feel that particular part of your abs working here. If you want to make this more challenging, you can squeeze your elbows and your feet toward one another, toward the middle of the mat to make a little more tension. If this is too difficult, you can put your knees down. Even if your knees are down, you're still going to feel your abs working here. If you have trouble with engaging your abs, if you don't understand what I mean when I say engage your core, I have a full workout here focused on core engagement for my Strength Foundations course. It's free on YouTube. Check it out in the description below if you're still having issues with core engagement. by the end of this video. All right, then we'll go ahead and relax. So that's first exercise. Hold that for at least 30 seconds. And with planks, you can go all the way up to 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Challenge yourself there. But I'd recommend for at least 60 seconds, and you can do that 2 or 3 times per workout. Next exercise we're going to be doing is a cobra. Now, again, just with the forearm plank, follow along to the proper technique. Make sure that you're not just looking at me and mirroring, or it's not going to work. So I want you to get down flat onto your chest. You're going to bring your hands so that your elbows are kind of pulling back down toward your hips. Your thumbs are going to end up kind of around the ribs here. Reach your legs out as far as you can behind you and point your toes. Now you might experience some cramping in your toes if you're just getting started, and that's normal. That's okay. Just take a little break and try again once the cramp has gone away. Or if you absolutely need to, you can tuck your toes so the bottoms of the toes are on the ground. Now from here, squeeze your legs toward one another. So I want you to pretend like you're holding a piece of paper between your thighs. Hold it tight, squeeze your thighs toward one another. Push the tops of your feet into the ground as hard as you can, and then squeeze your abs. Think about lifting your belly button toward your lower back. This is going to help you engage your transverse abdominis. And then squeeze your elbows back, pull your body forward, and lift using your hips and your core strength. So my hands are lifted now because I want to show you that I'm not just pushing myself up. Okay, you're using your core strength and your hip strength here to lift, not just doing a push-up and pressing your body away from the ground. That's not going to help. Continue to squeeze your legs toward one another. Press the top of your head forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. A little bit of an arch from your mid-back up. And breathing slow and controlled. This is really good for helping with your core strength, your pelvic floor strength. And I also want you to think pushing your pubic bone into the floor. There have been studies done that do show an increase in testosterone from pressing your pubic bone into the floor. So if you can do that while doing Cobra, that's also going to help with improving sex. All right, and then relax. So that pose you want to hold for at least 20 seconds. There are a lot of parts that go into it, so you might need to try it again. Again, squeezing the legs together, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground, not pressing up with your hands, okay? But keeping the focus on your hips and your core. Then we're gonna flip over for our third exercise, and this is bridge. And bridge is really good because it helps with our core strength, but it also helps with our hip strength, which is really important. So you're gonna lie on your back here, bring your heels in toward your butt, press your feet down firmly into the ground, and squeeze your glutes. So you want to feel your glutes working here before you even lift off. If you need help with that, think about pulling your heels toward your shoulders, and again, squeezing your butt muscles, so clenching your glutes. From here, press down through your feet, use your hip strength to lift your hips away from the floor. What I don't want to see here, this is not a competition to lift your chest as high as possible. Keep your ribs drawn in, just like you had it for the plank. You also might want to apply a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt here, which means reaching your anus toward your knees. Okay, so you're kind of reaching your butt toward your knees to help with flattening out your spine. Continue to push down through your feet, squeeze your glutes, and then hug your thighs toward one another. Make sure your knees aren't splaying out. Your abs should be tight here just like you had them for the plank. So you want to feel your abs working here. Arms can be relaxed along your sides. Your neck can be relaxed as well. The main focus of bridge is your glutes and your core. You're going to feel your lower back working here, but you shouldn't feel pinching or pain in the lower back. If you do feel pinching there, you're probably pressing up too high and you're not using your glutes at all. So try to keep your back flat, focus on the glutes, and keep your core tight as you're doing that. Okay, go ahead and release. You want to make sure to do that for at least 30 seconds, and you can hold up to 90 seconds. Just like the forearm plank, you can do 2 or 3 sets of that. And I think I forgot to mention how many times to do Cobra. You can do that 2 to 3 times as well. Next exercise is the boat pose. And this might be the most effective one for erection strength, but it is also very challenging to do. So I'm going to start with an easy modification or beginner modification to make sure that you're using the proper muscles and feeling it correctly, and then we're going to progress from there. So I want you to start with your heels kind of in toward your butt, like so. Toes are going to be off the ground. And then put your hands behind you on either side of your hips, and then lift your chest up as much as possible. So I want you to think aiming your sternum, right, the bone that covers your heart, aim your sternum up at the ceiling. So I want your back flat. Hands are going to help you get into this position without any strain in your back. And then I want you to think lifting your knees slightly to engage your hip flexors. So we want to feel the muscles that connect your torso to your legs in the front of your hips. You want to feel those muscles working. From here, make sure that your knees aren't splaying open, okay? So your knees, your ankles, your hips are in a straight line. So legs hugging toward one another, chest lifting up, feeling the hip flexors working, and then aiming your sternum up to help keep the back flat. And that's what's going to really engage your core. If you round your back here, you're not going to feel this correctly, okay? So that's why I'm showing you this modification with the feet down. Aim your chest up, use your hands on the ground to help with this initially. Maybe you move the hands to the knees to help, but this is level one, making sure that we feel the hip flexors working, making sure that we feel the pelvic floor area and your abs, your transverse abdominals working here. To make this more challenging, lift one leg off the ground. If that feels okay and you didn't round your back, then you can lift both legs off the ground. This is really going to focus on your hip strength and your transverse abdominals. It's very challenging, but this is very effective, particularly for erections. We want to hold this for at least 30 seconds with as much intensity and as much good technique as we can. Make sure that you don't compensate and start to round your chest, but stay tall through your posture and try to keep your back flat and use your hips and your core, not just your core or your back. 30 seconds up to 60 seconds. You can do 2 to 3 sets of those. And then lastly, we're going to do a chair pose. Chair pose is cool because it integrates all of these things that we've done together. But if you don't do it with proper technique, you're not going to notice the benefits. So, chair pose. Start with your toes touching, your heels an inch apart. Our goal here is to get into a squat with your knees touching. Focus on putting the weight in your hips and keeping your back flat. So knees will bend slightly. I'm going to let my butt drop down and back, making sure that I'm putting the weight in my hips, not leaning too far forward and putting the weight in my knees, but leaning back. If you feel like you're going to fall over backwards, that's good. That means you're putting the weight into the back. Keep your back flat here, so your spine should be neutral. If you notice that your back is arched and your chest is puffing out, you're not going to properly engage the core. So that's why we need to flatten your back. From here, if you feel like you've got a flat back, weight is in your hips, your core is working like you had it for a plank, then we can lift the arms. The arms are not so important here. The most important part is keeping your back flat, feeling this in your core, and feeling the weight in your glutes. So we can hold here for 30 seconds. If you want to make this easier, don't go down as low. You can also lean slightly forward as long as your back stays flat. To make this more challenging, you're going to bring your hips closer to the ground while keeping your back flat, and then starting to aim your chest a little more forward, leaning further back, challenging your core strength. And through all these postures, breathing in and out of your nose, remembering, thinking, flexing the penis as you're doing this, if you want to make it applicable, and then coming out. Chair pose, minimum of 30 seconds. I would work your way up to 45, 60, or even 90 seconds. You can do 2 to 3 sets of those. So those are the postures. If you need more help with the technique, don't go away. I'm going to give you some other free resources that you can use to help with this. I have the first 3 episodes of my Strength Foundations course free on YouTube. Those are 30-minute beginner-friendly workouts that are going to help you work through hip strength, through pelvic floor strength, through core strength, all of which is extremely applicable to better sex for men, helping you understand what proper core engagement feels like, guiding you through some exercises to help facilitate that, to help you understand what it feels like when you're engaging your pelvic floor and your core. We've got a Yoga for Men series here on YouTube as well for free. There are 4 total episodes. You're going to find a lot of similar stuff that we've done here in those workouts. And then lastly, if you're looking for lasting change or noticeable improvements, try to do these exercises at least 2 times per week. You can do these every day if you want. It's only about 10 minutes when you do it on your own, or 15 minutes. And it's not demanding enough that you can't do it every day. But try to do it at least 2 times per week. And you can even do these exercises before sex. It's going to help with circulation. It's going to help with warming up those muscles beforehand. So doing this as a warm-up to sex is also a great idea. Again, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, be sure to subscribe. We put out awesome content every week. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, and if you're looking for more, if you want more workouts or you want structured programs, head over to manflowyoga.com/join to learn more about what I do with Manflow Yoga. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps your sex life and your erections, and I look forward to seeing you on future videos.